This is a brief introduction to WebGIS, starting with Part 1. And in Part 1, we'll just talk for a moment about the Internet and the World Wide Web. So sometimes these terms are used interchangeably, but they're actually two different things with subtle differences between them. So the Internet is just this massive network of networks that connects millions of computers worldwide. And the place the internet is hosted is on the World Wide Web, which is sometimes abbreviated www. So the World Wide Web can be thought of as a system of documents and programs that can be accessed through the internet using these special protocols that we'll talk about here in a minute. The World Wide Web might be thought to be on its third iteration. Web 2.0 is said to have started around 2004, and that's when social media and participation in the web, where people wanted to post things to the web and have things uploaded to the web, really took off. So that was kind of a point where there was a big change. And recently we've been in this sort of other change, going from Web 2.0 to Web 3.0 into what some people are calling the semantic web. And this is especially focused on content no longer generated by people and social media, but by other computers. So things like decentralized data networks used in data mining and Bitcoin mining and all those sort of things, and AI-driven services are now becoming more and more common. And the other important thing to remember with the Internet and World Wide Web is this foundational component, which is HTTP. HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol, and these rules are involve web clients and web services that are used to communicate. And usually if you look at a web page now, instead of just HTTP, you'll see HTTPS. And that means that web page is encrypted and more secure, so you can feel more confident clicking on an HTTPS web page. One of the things that you're probably familiar with is the URL, or the Uniform Resource Locator. This is simply the web address of how you can get to a place on the internet. And the example there is for Oregon State. It starts with the HTTPS and then colon / and then oregonstate.edu. So moving towards designing web pages with HTTP and other things, one important component is HTML, which is Hypertext Markup Language. And this is a specific language which includes coding, oftentimes, for web page documents. One of the ways HTML is implemented is through cascading style sheets, and that makes editing and formatting web pages easier when using HTML. Another thing commonly used with HTML is JavaScript, which is a programming language that allows you to do interactive things with web pages. Here's an example of HTML. We can see those things between the greater than and less than signs, which are called tags. And some of those tags, for example, the B stands for bold, or the P stands for paragraph, all those sorts of things. What's shown here is an example using Google Maps, where a Google map could be embedded into a website. And this was part of this Web 2.0 push, where for example, a small business could suddenly just drop a pin onto a map and include the Google map on their website and actually help to build their website in that way. So this is just one example of HTML code, but you can see highlighted at the bottom here is how the Google map would be embedded in a website.